So today I'm going to get real about something that's been on my mind quite recently. Well, more than recently. It's been coming for quite a while. It's been building up, but it's now reached its peak and it's time for me to do something about it. I think you guys are probably going to resonate with, at least most of you will. How do you feel confident when your body starts to change in midlife? As a health and wellness counselor and a beauty coach, I've helped so many women navigate through these waters, but now I'm in it. From stubborn weight gain to battling this self confidence, I'm sharing my journey through menopause or perimenopause, and I'm now working on loving my body again. So grab a cup of tea, coffee, water, and let's dive in together. Hi, my name is Claribel, and welcome to Clarity Chats with Claribel. I'm a health and wellness counselor, I'm a beauty coach, I'm an esthetician, I'm many things in this health and wellness and beauty arena. Okay, so here's the scoop. I've gained about 10 pounds. And it's been slowly coming. Now, my weight has always fluctuated back and forth. I have Crohn's disease. I've had many, many, many surgeries. And in this season of my life, my Crohn's disease is very different. I don't necessarily have flare ups due to fistulas or infections as I did before. But now, so it's more stricture based. Because of course scar tissue and inflammation, because it's normal to have inflammation in the body, and when you have Crohn's disease, that's even that's the whole thing. It's an inflammatory disease. Now I have issues with blockage, so again my weight has fluctuated, but these 10 pounds have never been a problem like this before. It feels like it's stubborn. It's fat that's just hanging around. And it's tough to see myself in that light because I've always been on the forefront of supporting my clients and my friends and families on loving yourself at any stage of your life, loving your body at any point of your life. And I remember having a lot of clients going through this midlife change and and working with them and developing different programs, again, very specific to the individual, but in particular to get to a place where you love yourself and you have the self confidence. But it's been wreaking havoc on my own self confidence, and it's something new that I'm going through. I've really dealt with self confidence when I was younger, but I worked through that, and I built a career based on not only my expertise but my education as well. I have a master's degree in health and wellness. In any case, it's towards the end of summer, and I've only gone to the beach about a handful of times. Almost all of the times I've not taken off my t-shirt and shorts. Yeah, this got me thinking, like, this has been coming for a while, but I don't feel comfortable anymore with this stubborn fat that's now hanging around in places that it shouldn't and never been. It's it's holding me back. And I work out regularly, I eat healthy, yet here we are. It's really made me think about all of those conversations I've had, like I said, with clients over the years. Now I'm experiencing it myself. So I've been journaling and trying to understand why my body feels this way and how I can regain my confidence. As I said, with this journaling and reflecting that I've been doing, and partially for myself because it is a very individual process, I've been able to come up with kind of, if you will, a more general approach. So, irregardless of where you are in your life, but more so now in midlife for many of us, we're juggling a lot of different responsibilities. So, this approach can work at any stage of your life. but I figured this was a more general and easier way to start developing goals that will work for you in this stage to build your confidence back in this midlife craze. I'm going to go over the 5 things that I kind of have thought up and developed for myself. And I've tweaked it in a way that perhaps maybe you can incorporate it into yourself. So the first step really is taking a holistic view of yourself. This bird's eye view of everything, not just your health. So, what do I mean? It means taking a good, hard look at everything. And this might mean journaling, and it may take a couple of weeks for you to really truly gather all the data you need. But what are you eating? How much are you sleeping? Are you snacking mindlessly? Yeah. Look, this is not going to be easy. And you may have done this in the past to a certain degree. But what I'm talking about is hardcore. Trust me, it has to happen if you want to get to the next step. So when I started journaling myself, it was a wake-up call. I couldn't even believe my own habits and what I have been doing mindlessly in the past few years. I would say few months, but actually, if I'm being honest, it's been coming for a few years. I mean, I was snacking on I've been snacking. I can't say I've completely stopped because it is an adjustment, but mindlessly snacking on my son's chips during the day or crackers, just a handful here. Oh, well, I intermittent fast, so I'm okay. I could do that. But again, I was brutally honest with myself and blew my mind with how much I was consuming mindlessly. I mean, not in big amounts. I'm talking about mindlessly snacking, just constant. And I have Invisalign. I don't have them in right now. I thought that was going to be a game changer. It's like, oh, I'm going to lose weight. Well, I've had Invisalign now for about, I think, 2 months. It hasn't changed my eating habits. It has to stop. And that's why I created this plan. So once you start journaling and really processing and assessing all of what you're doing, how much sleep are you getting? Honestly, you really need to assess that. Are you really truly getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep? I am. I don't mess with sleep. I do have a habitual sleep cycle. I go to bed at a certain time and I wake up at a certain time. I don't mess with that. That is for sure. I'm a sleep person. I'm not sleep deprived. But there's other areas of my life that can certainly need help. And for me, it was the mindlessly eating, and we'll get to other things here. But overall, in this first process of taking a holistic assessment and inventory, if you will, of how you are, how are your stress levels? What are you doing for the stress levels? And we'll talk more about that later. So, what's impacting you? I want you to really ask these hard questions and journal and look through this, but it's not about the weight. It's not about focusing necessarily on the weight. Yes, I mentioned at the very beginning that I've gained 10 pounds. Yes, I mentioned that those 10 pounds are annoying and they're just hanging out and they're really battling my self-confidence. But really what this plan and these steps are, it's more so to develop the habits. So instead of focusing for me on these 10 pounds, when I'm focusing on what habits with this holistic assessment that I've done for me, what habits do I need to tweak? What habits do I need to change and eliminate? Which habits do I need to bring in? And how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? I want to feel confident. I want to feel beautiful. I want to feel that I'm able to wear a bikini and feel okay about it and not having to be tugging on my shirt or comparing myself. I mean, I'm in my late 40s. I don't want to feel that way. I want to feel comfortable, and it's not about being skinny. It's about feeling good. So, with this holistic approach, irregardless, we're talking about weight for me, right? It may be something different to you, but really approach it as what habits are you wanting to change, adhere, and how do you want to feel? Okay. And the next step, which I've incorporated, is reach out to your health providers. Whether that's a holistic health provider, whether it's a Western medicine doctor, whether it's a functional doctor, maybe if you financially can do it, all of them, right? Definitely go out and get your hormone levels checked. And we're talking midlifers. This is good at any age, especially if you're late to 30, going on to your late 30s, early 40s. You can start as early as that. But you've got to know where your starting points are. What are your hormone levels? Get a physical, get your heart checked, just get checked out. You can't change certain things about your health if you don't know where you are. You can't change certain habits if you're not really taking an assessment of where you are. So it is important to be very, very open and honest with yourself. No one else knows this but you. So reach out to your doctors, make appointments. I have my regular doctor that I'm going to go see. I had my hormones level checked a year ago. And at that point, they really didn't say I was in perimenopause yet. But I think I'm past that. It's been 2 years since I've had a cycle. So I'm pretty certain I'm past perimenopause. But who knows? And I don't know. All I know is that my levels were checked a year ago, and it's time to get serious. Go out there and get an assessment of your health so that you know where your starting points. And then come prepared to these appointments. Come prepared with questions, and then work together with your health practitioner to build a plan to get you to a healthier you on that perspective. But come prepared also with asking questions. Do not, if this is my personal and humble opinion, I always suggest don't just take a medication because they said to take it. Ask questions. Why? Why should I take this medication? What are the side effects? What other alternatives are there? Talk to them, because our doctors need to also have those conversations with us. And I've been blessed and I'm able to be very open and honest with my doctors, and they are actually love to have those conversations. At least in my reality, they do. They might not after I leave, but I think they do. Become prepared and come as an advocate for yourself, because who else is going to advocate for you? Not that doctor. As good as they are, they have hundreds, 200, 300 other patients that they're seeing. You're not the only one. So while they're with you right then, but at the end of the day, you're advocating for you. So make sure that you go in there prepared to ask questions. And if you need to go for second or third or fourth visits with other doctors for other opinions and you're able to do so, then I suggest you do. Don't just take the first doctor's point of view. And because it's their professional opinion and their expertise, obviously, because that's what they're there for, they're experts in that. But if you don't feel comfortable, then you need to ask the questions. And if they're not willing to answer, then you go to a different opinion, a different doctor for another opinion. And again, that's just my personal opinion. You should always come prepared to advocate for your health. And again, this is not just for midlifers. This is in general. Even if you're not someone like who's perhaps maybe in menopause or has a chronic illness like Crohn's disease, but that's something that you should really always do, and is get regular checkups. They're essential to your health. You really need to know where you are. So keep that in mind and go prepared. And then the other thing on my list, number 3, is once you understand and you've had these conversations with your health providers and you've come back prepared with the conversations you've had, and you have perhaps maybe a game plan, or you know now where your levels are, and you've had those conversations. Now you need to do work for yourself. This is when you come back, and this is where nutrition starts in the kitchen. Yes, you cannot out exercise a bad diet. All right. old school, but nevertheless so true. It's so true. Even though I'm working out daily, even though I'm moving my body daily, I have not been able to outrun the fact that I'm having crackers, chips, and sugar, things that it's not on a day-to-day basis, but on a week-to-week basis, they're adding up, and I've not been able to outrun it. So that's the change in this stage of life, in midlife. Even though most of us are still active and running and moving, if we're mindlessly eating certain things that we've not been mindlessly doing before, we still can't outrun those bad habits that we've now, or speaking for myself, that I've now created. So it starts with getting yourself together and doing something in the kitchen that allows you to be able to have healthier options. You have to really reassess your food choices and what you're buying. For me, I make sure that my kitchen is stacked with egg whites, eggs, avocado cups from Costco. I also keep tuna in the pantry. And what else? I make protein packed pancakes a couple of times a week. I have some in the fridge. If I'm running behind, if I'm running late and I don't have time to boil an egg or make an omelet or make a scramble with avocado, then I grab something that I have. I always keep high protein Greek yogurt and fruits. Now, it is interesting, and again, we're all individual. For me, I have Crohn's and I have strictures, so I can't have high fiber foods. I can't have steak. I can't have a lot of things. So that's why it's always been easier for me to just grab crackers, although there's no nutritional value in those. They're easily processed, but easily digestible in comparison to where I can't have broccoli and carrots, which I loved. I loved, but because of the amount of surgeries I've had and the adhesions and the strictures, I cannot have. Actually, I was supposed to have surgery 2 days ago, but due to finances, I have to cancel or postpone. All that to say, my diet is very unique, extremely unique. Again, keep healthy choices, whatever options that are, whether you're keto or low carb, whatever. All I say about that is make sure you choose something that's sustainable to you. I don't believe in cutting certain things if you love them. I believe life is meant to be lived all in portions and very sparingly, but doesn't mean that you have to cut it out completely. Just know that can take you down a rabbit hole that can bring you back to where you were before or worse off. So just make choices on your healthier options that you know you love. All in moderation, though. Remember, it's about balance and not deprivation. And then moving on to the fourth point that I think you should really look at is movement. Move your body daily. Yes, we've talked about this so many times. You've heard about this so many times. Move your body. You might be moving your body now, but you have to really look at how much movement. I have to take, again, that holistic approach. I looked at it. I move, I walk a lot, and I run a lot, and I work out. But there were times that now that I've done this assessment, I've done this really holistic view. Remember that thing that we did on number one? You're really holistically looking at everything. When I did that assessment, yes, I'm working out every day. But what was happening for me specifically is I spent 2 years down this rabbit hole of following different advice. I was listening to too many people on YouTube, and not listening to myself and not knowing with my knowledge and knowing my body. One person would say, don't do HIIT, it's not good. What you need to be doing is just steady cardio, doing longer walks. Okay, so I would do longer walks. And then other people would be like, oh, what you need to do is just forget about cardio, just do weightlifting. Okay, so I didn't walk, I didn't, do cardio, I still walked, but I didn't do heavy cardio and I just did lift weight. Look, at the end of the day, what ended up happening was that I was not being consistent. was being wishy-washy and I was going back and forth, trying different things, and I wasn't finding my groove. Now, I was there before. I love working out. When I really took a look at what I was doing when I did this assessment, I was like, oh my gosh, I have not been consistent. So, whatever it is that you choose to do, be consistent. So, just move however you can. Just move. Whatever works for you, find it and then add on to it. And hey, YouTube has a bunch of free workouts and you can do it in your living room if you don't want to be outside like I am. I love being outside, but just move. And then the next thing, and lastly, but certainly not least, is really embrace your self-compassion and set realistic goals. So we talked a little bit about the setting realistic goals. You have to do what works best for you, but you have to give yourself grace. Allow yourself that freedom to know that this is a different phase in your life. And it wasn't what it was 10 years ago. Stop comparing yourself. I'm speaking to the choir. I need to stop comparing myself. I've got to focus on me now. And I've got to be very, very realistic with my goals because I'm not that person 5 years ago. I'm not there. My body has changed. My hormones has changed. I know that. I can feel it. And I'm older and I'm honestly just in a different place that I have to take it from this perspective. And how is it that I want to feel now? And how do I want to approach the next 5 years and go into that? I love where I am. I really do. It's really this weird contradiction. I love where I am and I love myself. I love where my body has taken me. I love that I've been able to have a child. I love the journey I've been on. I love so much about myself. And you couldn't pay me to be 20 again. I'm sorry. I am sorry. You could not pay me to be 20 again. Maybe 30s and yes to 40s. Yes. But 20s, no. Sorry, can't do that. And while I love myself, I don't feel confident most of the time. But now it's important to set new goals and achieve them in a different way. And then celebrate the small wins. It's all about these small little things because they stack up and being consistent with it. Look, I've fallen off of the wagon many times, and that's another topic that we'll get to talk about another time, but it's okay. So yesterday you fell off the wagon. Well, you know what? Today is a new day. Let's get back on that wagon and doing small little steps day by day. It's not about starting over. You just pick up where you left off the next day. And focus on those small changes. I know I've talked about the weight at the beginning, but it's how I feel. It's what that represents to me. And I need to change that and change my habits to focus back on feeling good again and feeling confident and feeling comfortable in my skin. So these are the 5 steps I've been taking to feel better and more confident in my body during this midlife transition. And remember, it's about creating a lifestyle that makes you feel good, that allows you to still continue all of the responsibilities that you have. Because let's be real, we have a lot of responsibilities the older we get. I wish it was the other way around, but there is this midlife crunch that seems to really squeeze us really tight. But we'll get through this. We will, and we'll get through it together. If you're going through this too, or if you know somebody who's going through this, please share. Just know that you're not alone and we can navigate this together. I know I'm not alone. I know that I need to be more mindful with opening up with my own realm of people. That's another thing, and that's probably another conversation to have. But we need to continue to have these conversations because midlife is not easy. All of the challenges that is being thrown on to us with changes in lifestyle transitions, perhaps in work transition in the home. You might have kids growing out of the home or going out of the home. You may still have young kids and aging parents. And then if you're in perimenopause and menopause, I mean, these are all hard things to deal with, and we're dealing with it all at the same time, and where it feels like they're stacking on. And it's a lot of weight to carry, no pun intended. Let's continue to love ourselves in every stage. Thanks for joining me today. If this has resonated with you, please go ahead and hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. What are you doing right now to build your self-confidence? Let's start a conversation and let's continue to love ourselves in every stage that we're in. Talk to you later. Bye.